Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the 4th week of July, July 20th until the 24th, Monday to Friday. Retail, low print and imports, plus our community spotlight where you show off your pickups and potentially win a physical Switch game. Plus, during the video, we will be announcing the winner of a second giveaway of Finding Teddy 2. Keep an eye out. Let's get on with this week's episode. Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break is the third game in the series that's rolled under the radar for many people. This is a fun, physics-based puzzle action game with defense elements. As you may tell from the subtitle, the biggest improvement on the formula is a much bigger attempt at creating your own levels with powerful customization tools to challenge your friends with online. There's a nice dollop of humor too, inspired by the surreal Monty Python. Juan has been sent a physical press copy of this, which looks lovely indeed, and we'll try to take a look at it for review. Ancestors Legacy is a hotly anticipated squad-based strategy game where you take control of 4 nations in history to conquer and raid with micromanaging your systems. It's going to be interesting to see how this one stacks up against the competition on the Switch. It was well received for its PC release, but the transition to handheld console, well, we'll have to see. This is releasing physically only in Asia and North America as far as I can tell, so people in Europe, you may have to import this one. I'll pop some links down below for that. Let's jump into the low print releases. The 23rd of July is going to be a wallet buster if you're trying to get all the sets from low print companies, especially of limited run and special reserve. Firstly, of a new game, the pre-order for the physical of Carrion is going ahead, with once again the 2 companies teaming up to milk you guys dry as possible. This is an open pre-order for the hotly anticipated title where you are the monster in a horror game. I know plenty of people are excited about this one. Obviously, each company has their own cover, so I'll leave it to you in the comments to decide which one you like the most, even if limited run is just an hilariously zoomed in version of special reserves. Ninja Guy X over on Discord made this to show it off. I mean, yeah, I understand indie games generally have only like 1 or 2 pieces of key art, something which is the bane of our life when trying to make thumbnails to stand out from the other reviews, but come on, you're making thousands and thousands of dollars off this release. Commission a new piece of art. And Gannicus is going with Special Reserves variant of Carrion as his pick of the week. And in a similar sales fashion, Special Reserve have done the unthinkable and announced a second print of Gris. Yes, many people missed out on this back in its original print as it only really became popular after the fact. And Limited Run also want a piece of that pie, joining in with an open pre-order too. So how do you feel about the reprint? Is this something that you're happy to see or angry that your original copy suddenly crashed in value? I'm interested in your thoughts. Personally, I don't really care. And the Special Reserve variant of Gris is God of Resin's pick of the week. Limited Run aren't stopping there. Oh no, they've got your wallets by the balls this week. The Friends of Ringo Ishikawa is perhaps the least enticing of this week's physicals low prints, but still decent nonetheless. I think go back like 2 or 3 years and people would be fawning over this retro style beat 'em up, but now we live in the world where River City Girls and Streets of Rage 4 exist, so it's hard to get too excited about this one, even if it does have a bit of style going for it. 21st of July when pre-orders open for this one. Let's move on to Limited Run's 4th pre-order this week, The Return of Obra Dinn, which is one of the most critically acclaimed indie games of the last few years, developed by the same dudes as Paper Please. This is a puzzle game set in 1807 as you play as an inspector for the East India Company. Now, I make that sound boring, but this is one of the essential indies if you're in the mood for it. This may not end up being Limited Run's most popular release, but it's going to be one of their best for sure. 24th of July for this one. And Obra Dinn is Dane Wilkinson and Brent McLean's pick of the week. Vault Milestone 1 makes this Limited Run's 5th pre-order this week. 5th. It's a visual novel, one that originally got mixed reception. Limited Run are distributing this one. It's not part of their own lineup. As it's a game I'm not wholly familiar with, it's perhaps that I best leave it there. And just say that you can pre-order this one on the 21st of July. There's a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. So yeah, Limited Run with 5 pre-orders in 1 week. How is that sitting with everyone? Has the bubble burst yet? That is a crazy amount to be keeping up with. Honestly, it's kind of off-putting for me. Alright, let's jump into the imports this week. Just remember that if any take your fancy and you'd like to import them for yourself, then there are links below in the description and the pinned comment. If you use those links, it really does help support this little series of ours. It helps SwitchWatch keep going with the physical series, and we appreciate you using them very, very much, honestly, so much. And in return, if you do use our links, then you can also get 5% off your order if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, while checking out for a nice little 5% off all your physical orders. Thank you. Alright, Ace Angler is the long-awaited English language release of the Japanese arcade phenomenon, Fishing Spirits, a game that was often sold out in Japan due to demand. Based off the cocktail arcade-style cabinet, it's a top-down fishing game. I've played a couple of copycats at local arcades, but I definitely want to give this one a try as it looks a lot of fun. I'm always into arcade sports games, so I'm definitely trying to take a look at this one if I can. This is only getting an English physical in Asia. The Hong Kong and Japanese ones do not have English, they're pretty old, so this is kind of like a new print but with English on it for Southeast Asia, so be sure to use the link in the description to make sure you get to the correct one. I'd hate for you to buy the wrong one. Also, you can get a nice accessory to go with it, just like in the good old days of the Sega Dreamcast, have a nice little fishing rod controller. One of the most interesting imports this year is that of Ninjala. Yes, the free-to-play online game is getting a physical release in Japan, with English on an actual cartridge. You get exclusive gear plus lots of in-game currency. Not entirely sure if the story mode DLC is on here or not though. If you don't know what Ninjala is, it's basically a stylish take on Splatoon, as you can see from the art direction. It's supposedly quite a lot of fun as long as the web connection holds up. Anyways, for me, this is a surprise release, but at least it's getting one. Much better than a code in a box, which is what I would have expected. Anyways, this is on my list. I'm probably going to get it sometime down the line. And Ninjala is Jonathan Rumor's pick of the week. Yoshizu Mori no Chisana Nakami Tachi is a pet raising simulator where you take care of various forest animals. I have no idea. This has no English, so let me just leave it at that. And not of much significance, but I might as well mention it, Call of Cthulhu, love it, is getting a physical release in Japan this week, but we already have it in the West, so who cares? Alright, let's jump into the Let's Get Physical Community Spotlight, where you show off your pickups. If you're featured, then at the end of this month, i.e. next week, then you'll be in the draw to win a physical Switch game. Next week, we will be announcing the winner of Splasher from Red Art Games. This week, we've got something a little special to show off to you guys. Firstly, B-Side Games over in Japan are a great little company producing some really nice packages, mostly of games that already have Western releases, but one of their latest is this, the legendary Kamiko. One of the star indies on the Switch in the very early days finally has a physical release only in Japan with B-Side Games. They put together this little package with a beautiful card sleeve, soundtrack CD, plus some acrylic keychains, like properly solid stuff. The keychains are the business. There are two versions of this physical, one where you get one of 3 chains at random, or you can get all of them in a more expensive package. Now, I just want to stress that a few weeks ago we gave away 2 of B-Side Games' releases, Golf Story and Cat Quest, but we're definitely not giving this one away, so don't hold out hope for that, okay? These are not cheap to import, and not the easiest, but the packages that they put together are just so lovely. They've also got another physical release, an even newer one than Kamiko, which is Brave Dungeon and Dark Witch Story, like a double pack, and that looks awesome too. I'm hoping I can get my hands on that as well. If you want to check their website out, then please use the link in the description. Then it shows those guys that, you know, we've sent you over there. It's not an affiliate link or anything, but, you know, just click the link to have a browse at their stuff. They do some really, really nice stuff. Alright, on to you lot. Joshua Brown sent in a couple of pictures this week showing off Starlink, plus these other pickups, including some great low print works such as Freedom Planet, one of my favorite indie games on the Switch, a great Sonic-like game. Everyone's favorite 80s action hero Kirk Canongrave is back with some fantastic games, including the recent release of Kingdom Majestic, which is a double pack of great games. Mr. Gab sent in a nice selection of colourful games, lots of farming and town management, including the recent release of Friends of Mineral Town, a lovely farming sim that is well worth a look. Silver House was one of many to pick up Catherine Full Body with that cute little keychain as a pre-order bonus. Ultra Egg did too, with also a slightly different release, Metro Redux. Chuck's Taylor sent in a few photos this week. There's a lot of stuff happening here, plus he got in Void Terrarium, which I'm waiting for my copy to turn up too. Hopefully that arrives soon, since it looks like a game that I'd enjoy very, very much. Big fan of those dungeon crawlers. Chris Hepburn picked up a copy of Fallen Legion, perhaps as a result of the incoming sequel, I don't know. It's a decent game and one that's often overlooked on the Switch. Shoyu got in 2 copies of Tales, one for a friend, plus an interesting fighting game, Under Night in Birth. Not many people talk about that one. Joseph Wharton Walker got in the European physical release of Guilty Gear Anniversary Pack. I believe this is not out in America yet, although Physicality Games seem to be trying to get the funds for the release, but their business plan seems to be kind of faltering somewhat. Ike was another one to get Kingdom Majestic, which was kindly unboxed for you guys to show its contents, including those art cards, which look lovely. Chris from Cali just became far more cultured with these 3 games. Omega Labyrinth Life, the collector's edition, which I recently showed off, plus the collector's edition of Panty Party, which is something that I need for my Play Asia collection. I have the standard edition, but that's not cultured enough for me. Choovy Doovy sent in these pickups with some great low print releases, including the Steelbook of Little Inferno from Super Rare Games. Spawn7 sent in pictures of his collection, including some of their more collectible or rarer pieces out there, like from Special Reserve Games and Strictly Limited. Michael Vilchevsky got in some great games, including Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is from I Am 8-Bits, which, don't quote me on this, but there are rumors going around that there may be a European release happening for this sometime in the future. Fingers crossed. Rob G with a familiar face, plus Trials of Mana, an RPG that I enjoyed reviewing very much. Punky Dooster allowed us inside their card case with some great games as always. Loving that Final Fantasy 7 and 8 double pack. I haven't actually opened mine yet, it's just, too precious. So I'm happy to see the card for the first time. He also showed us his nice selection of card cases. God of Resin, our executive producer, got in some great super rare game stuff, plus Giga Wrecker alts from Limited Run, which is always interesting to see. Boombox SMK sent in these games, including the interesting hidden gem, Songbird Symphony. Alongside Agalos, it's gone under the radar as a physical for sure. They released at the same time from the same publisher. Very cheap indies, but they're kind of going up in price. And speaking of Agalos, Bruno Silva just picked it up since he saw the price rising ever higher. I wish I could get it. Transient Image picked up these 4 games, apparently some on our channel's recommendations, including Aragami, which is a fun little stealth game, going fairly cheap nowadays and is worth picking up. Neverbirth picked up Katana Kami using one of our links. Thank you so much, Neverbirth. They also continued their quest for all the NIS America Collector's Editions. Pretty with Horns picked up SNK Heroines, which is a bit of a schlocky fighter, which you can have some pretty cheap fun with. Certainly not going to be at any esports competitions anytime soon, but it's still fun if you can find it cheap. Why not? Ragtag got in these 4 games. I love it when I see Tokyo Mirage Sessions, plus the collector's edition of Axiom Verge, which I'm surprised I don't see here more. It's not an expensive one, at least last time I checked, but if you're into Super Metroid, then you need this. I have the standard edition, but I probably should have got the collector's edition. Park Ranger sent in these games, including the new release of Shmup Collection. Love to see that there are 3 really fun shooters in one package. I was very enthusiastic about this release in my review. Also, I'm interested to see Last Fight, which has some really fun box art, and I think a lot of people will miss this one from their collection. Pokemothers got in some fantastic recent imports, including the Namcot collection, which I reviewed, and Mr. Driller Drillland, which is on my to-buy list. Definitely one that I need. And the classic Romancing Saga. I think all 3 of these are essential imports. If you want them for yourself, then check the links in the description. Our executive producer Ganica sent in these 2 games, loving the framing of this photo. Somehow the background goes very well with Astral Chain, which is one of the best games on the Switch, no question. Marty Mar sent in these pickups, including Friends of Mineral Town, which has a poor cow stapled to the box. He also got in Vambrace from Game Fairy. Chris Hepburn showed off the 2 sides of Streets of Rage 4 from Limited Run. I think I prefer the reversible cover for this one. Gerald Gonzalez picked up 2 games, including Rayman, for just $10, which is great value for one of the best games on the Switch. Our executive producer, Dane Wilkinson, finally got in his backer copy of Wonderful 101, as did MMO Hassa, Mad Bad, and Retro Boy. Matthew Hutton showed off his double helping of Deadly Premonition, which I think he may be regretting after hearing about the woes of the second game's performance. Rich Bergen showed off these 3 games, including some really obscure European exclusives, Mahjong Deluxe 3 and Mystery Investigations 1. Probably not exactly the best quality, but getting these obscure stuff is what makes collecting so interesting for me. Rick C got in this nice haul. A lot of love here, both games from Game Fairy, plus some fantastic imports, Gundam, Super Robot Wars, and Capcom Belt Action, all with English on the cartridge. I definitely need to add Capcom to my collection, I'm really slacking on that one. Joel Parker joined in with the Red Art Game sale, snagging Splasher as well as Riddled Corpses EX, which that's a very cool cover. And Matt Leinartz did the same too, taking the game out of his sleeve. That was awesome. McLaren showed off the arrival of the collector's edition of Darius collection from Strictly Limited, which finally came in. Looks very awesome, and they showed it alongside some other highly collectible shooters from Strictly Limited. Canuck showed off these fine arrivals in the post, Hotline Miami collection looking great alongside Streets of Rage 4 and the recent Mighty Switch Force collection. Rebus got in these 3 fine games, including the lovely Teslagrad. A nice enjoyable puzzle adventure game that has elements of Metroidvania about it. A nice recommendation from me if you can find it for like, I don't know, $20 or less. Fluttershout got in their copy of Paper Mario, the Origami King. I'm definitely picking this one up once I've gotten through some of my must-buy list. Tyson Bailey sent in some fine games, a lot of RPG goodness in here. Love it when I see World of Final Fantasy Maxima in someone's collection, always makes me happy. Such a great import. Jonathan got in a massive haul this week with lots of low print stuff. Love those 2 collector's editions of 2064 and Valhalla from Limited Run. Their artworks are both very clever as they go together to make one piece of art. Jim Wiley showed off these pickups. Man, Catherine is a popular one. I think Atlas are going to be very pleasantly surprised with the sales of this one if this series is anything to go by. I've seen it so much. Alright, thanks ladies and gents, it's always fantastic to see what you've got. Send me your pictures on Twitter over at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me or you can tag me and use the hashtag Let's Get Physical, and I'll give you a little retweet and a comment to show you that I've got it. Or you can email it to us at contactors@switchwatch.co.uk. Just make sure you start the email title with Community Spotlight so I don't miss that. Or you can head over to our Discord. The link is in the description below. You can talk to us and you can submit your picture over there in the submission section. Definitely join our Discord. You really need to join that, okay? Before we end the show, we still have important business to take care of. The giveaway of Finding Teddy 2 from Pixel Heart. After over 200 retweets, one of you was randomly chosen, and that person was Captain Slow. Congratulations, Captain Slow. Please contact me over on Twitter via direct message and I will sort you out with Finding Teddy 2. Many thanks to Pixel Heart for providing this as a giveaway. They are a publisher of Finding Teddy 2, Gigantic Army, Shmup Collection, plus a few upcoming physicals in a couple of weeks, so be sure to check out those guys. Head over to their website, have a look what they do. They do some really nice stuff. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, and Gannicus, and all of the others who have joined our memberships. We really appreciate you guys, and all of you watching right now. If you make it to the end, if you watch all of this video, then you are just amazing. I love you, okay? Check out last week's episode in case you missed it, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.